Yo, how we doing? It's Coops. So, today I'm going to make one of my very favourite dishes. It's really simple. It should use up stuff you've got in the house while we're still doing lockdown. It's paella. Got everything in it. Lots of carbs with the rice, but you can put whatever. I'm going to do chicken thighs, chorizo. I've got some prawns defrosted in the fridge, frozen. Obviously, because they're defrosting. Onion, garlic, carrot, red pepper, paprika, paella rice, some parsley, olive oil, and some chicken stock. And then at the end, some frozen peas. It's really simple. I'll quickly through it. I want to speed all through this and chop all this up. You don't need to see that. Yeah, paella's good for if you want to do a prep meal as well, because you can just bang it into tubs. A couple of chicken thighs, all the rice and the prawns and the chorizo and the goodness, and yam it every other day as you see fit. Or just do a massive pan like this. It's not a paella pan, it's a big frying pan. It's not a paella pan, but if you've got one, the bigger the better. And then I'm sure you've all had it before on holiday. Yeah, let's give it a bash. Okay, welcome back. So, roughly chopped carrots, onions, finely garlic. Got the chorizo. That's going to go in first. We're going to get the heat on. And I'm going to take the fat out of the chorizo and use that to cook everything else. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, get that pan nice and hot. Bang the chorizo for a little bit first. Then smash in the root veg and the chicken. Seal the chicken off. Turn it a couple of times. Then we'll do a bit of puree and flavours. Then just rice to get it all, let the rice get to know everything, and then we'll bung in the chicken stock, let it cover it and let it cook out, and then at the last minute we'll put in some parsley and garnish it with lemon and stuff. Okay, so paella, one of my favourites. Hopefully I do it justice, and if I don't, just let me know. Right, let's get that in there, clear the decks a little bit. So paella is the name of the pan, and it's pretty common everywhere in Spain, south of France, generally chicken and prawns, I believe, and I don't think we do enough of it. It's because okay, it's a little light on veggies, but you can always make a veggie one with peppers, broccoli, and do it yourself. I like it because it's got everything I like in it, carbs and meat. Yeah, and a bottle of red, nice sunny evening, even though we're on lockdown, sit in the garden, eat some paella, soak up the last few rays of sun, pretend you're on holiday. And yeah, so a little bit about me. If you haven't seen me already, I'm Coops. I just fancy doing cooking for people to help them out, get their confidence up in the kitchen. I try and keep it as healthy and as cheap as possible. Not all the time. When the summer comes, I'll be doing barbecues, and they're going to be insane. I've got a friend who lives around the corner over in Gloucester, who's got his own smoker, he's got his own rotisserie. We'll be coming from there most of the summer, hopefully, if he'll have us. So we're just going to heat that chorizo up. I don't want to char the chorizo, so do keep an eye on your pan. I just want to pull out the lovely oil and fat. Chorizo's got a lot of paprika and garlic, fat and meat. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit, because I can see some of the smaller bits are starting to get a little bit feisty. And I haven't done anything with this chicken, literally just ripped the top off. And I just want to take some of that chorizo fat and I want to seal, get some texture and colour on the skin, okay? So I'm just going to put that around the edge. Yeah, that chorizo's gone really well. I don't want it to be too full, because remember we've got to put the rice in yet and the prawns. But I reckon I could get maybe, let's go with 5. Put 5 in the pan. Sealed off. 3, that could be for me son in case he doesn't like it. Just gonna wash my hands. You see me pop off to the side. Sink's over there. Lovely little window looking to my garden. Right, I'm gonna give that a blow. 2 secs. Hopefully get some colour. If we're really lucky, my son will pop in and I'll have to cut and then go again. And I'm just going to move that around a little bit, making sure, again, like I said, the chorizo I want to burn. It's going to, sorry, I'll just talk to the camera. It's going to sit with the rice and the stock for a good 20 minutes, just bubbling away. I'm going to cover that. I've lost the lid to that pan. I'm going to cover that with foil, turn it right down, let it cook and cook and cook and cook and cook, and add more water if needs be, and then season and serve. So, more about me. Rugby fan, massive Gloucester rugby fan. Going to try and get some of those boys on to cook with me. I do events in the summer. But yeah, I mean, just starting out, see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, then I've learnt my lesson and I won't do it again. So, let's add everything else to the pan. Turn that heat down. So you can see, or maybe not, I don't know, you can definitely see the smoke. We've got the majority of what we need going on. There's a lot, I don't know if you can see at the bottom, a lot of fat coming off that chorizo, which is going to be perfect for cooking all this root veg, garlic, onions. Just get it all in there, man. Like I said, I do wash my hands. Put that back on the heat and do the last bit. I just wanted to see you very rough and ready cooking. If there's any complaints, you're not eating it, are you? I am, so cry me a river. So yeah, I like doing live cooks actually. So after this lockdown's going, I'll be announcing a lot more live cooking. Right, you don't need to hear me rabble on about nothing. So I'm going to keep cutting and going out, and I'm going to get. Over this lockdown period, it's April now, late April, I'm going to practice video editing so it looks a little slicker. Okay, we're back in a bit when that's coloured off, and I'll show you what it looks like before we add the next bits. One thing I forgot, smoked paprika, just from Morrison's, it's £1. It's alright, that's going to go in as well. Lovely. Okay, it's been cooking for about 5-10 minutes. Veggies are starting to soften. I've said, full disclosure, I banged in, I found some peppers and some celery, and I felt guilty about not having enough veg, so I banged some veggies in there. Tablespoon of tomato puree, or whatever you fancy. I'll do. Stir that in, then we'll get to know each other, and then we'll start with the rice and then the stock. So, yeah. I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be a tight squeeze in this pan, because if you look at that, beautiful, isn't it? Got the chicken, the chorizo, the veggies, then the old tomato puree, bang those peppers in out, Tupperware out the fridge. Right, in with the rice, 300 grams of Paella rice. I'm not going to lie, I chucked a little bit of arborio risotto rice in there because I was a bit short. Now this is the important part, you need to get that rice stirred really well in, and it's, the thing is with arborio rice, risotto rice and paella rice, it's shorter and fatter, and it takes a little longer to cook, but it absorbs loads and loads of flavour. Basmati and long grain that you're used to, it's just there bulking out really, isn't it? But this stuff really takes on all the flavour, so it's important to get that stirred in and around all the paprika, the garlic, the onions, the vegetables, and the tomato puree. So it becomes camouflaged and it looks like you've got some kind of egg festation in with all the veggies. I know that's not very, how's your appetite going, alright? I'll turn the heat up a little bit, and yeah, just roll that round for a couple of minutes. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking to the pan, I do apologise. I'll roll that round for a couple of minutes, and then boil the kettle. Take just a regular stock cube from the shops if you haven't got any in the fridge. There we go. There's the kettle boiled on about a litre of water, a litre of stock, 750ml to a litre. Now, another tip, you can always add, you can't take out, right? So let's start with 750, and if we think we need more boiling water as it cooks under the foil, we'll add some. It's the worst thing in the world to put too much of something in, because once it's in a sauce or a dish, you can't take it out. So in your head, be thinking, I can always add, I can't subtract. I can always add, I can't subtract. Just give that a good old whisk, break up that stock cube, get it in the pan, turn the heat down, put some foil on it, and I'll see you in about 20 minutes. That is to the brim. Right, I'm going to knock that down because I'm using the central hob, It's all like a wok burner. It's pretty ferocious, all right? So I'm just gonna work that in gently because it is full. Make sure it gets the liquid can get into every nook and cranny. Everything's got such a lovely colour, this. I'm just gonna let that cook out. The rice is gonna absorb all that stock and all the pan flavour and all the chorizo and the puree. Oh, it's just gonna be lush. And also, someone once asked me what my style of cooking is, and I said rugby style. So it's meat, potato, veg. It's just something you can bang after a rugby meal, a rugby game, and it lends itself well to that. Like a big roast dinners, lamb shanks, pork belly, all that big fodder you need. Glass of wine maybe, to get the job done, to like, fuel you for the day or for a rugby match or whatever. So that's the kind of cuisine I do, and it's home cooked. It's a lot of times. It stems from my mum actually, bless her, I love you mum, getting her a cookbook, and there were just so many ingredients from a top chef, and there were so many ingredients that she wouldn't use again. She would do the dish once and then the ingredients stay in the cupboard, didn't they? And the method, the instruction wasn't very clear, so I thought, you know what, I'll just see if I can bridge the gap between my dear old mum here, Michelin star chef cookbook here, and I'll be in the middle, just trying to help everyone that can cook at home, good stuff with the techniques that the Michelin star chefs have got, but the skill set that my mother or people might have. Sorry mum, I'm not trying to offend you. Anyway, I would have covered that with some foil. Digging myself in a hole now. Ooh, sorry mum. I'm going to cover that with some foil and let it cook for 20 minutes. Remember, the reflective side does the heat there. People always wrap stuff with the, that's my nutting, with that side. Okay, I've just got a little air hole so it doesn't spill onto my stove. Leave it there to go. See you in a sec. Well, 20 minutes. Okay, it's about 15 minutes. As you can see, if I can get it over to you, simmering nicely, all cooked. When you're stirring it, and you should do frequently, just whip the lid off. Go from out to in, okay? Out to in, just folding over the rice, getting everything together. Out to in. So that rice is nearly there. It's going to need 5 more minutes, but before that happens, you throw in about 100 grams of frozen peas. Sorry. Oh my God, my camera skills are woeful tonight. Work them in, again, nice and gently. There's going to be no room left in this pan, and that's exactly as it should be. And then we've got some frozen prawns, 200 grams. I'm going to stir them in. Bring it over here, may as well. So we're going to stir them in and cook it for another 5 minutes with the foil on top. And then the prawns will be nice and pink. The peas will be defrosted. We'll garnish with some parsley there and some lemon. And then we're all done. And I can eat my dinner. Only joking. Right, back on the heat. I've moved it over to this hob here, purely because the middle one was too strong, and it went from boiling down to like a medium boil. I needed it to simmer, okay? Boil around there, 5 more minutes, we'll dish up, see you in a bit. Right, here we are, plating up time. I'm just going to chop some parsley. Paella's done, looks good. Got a little bit of garnish and a little bit of colour. Just finishes it off nicely, you know. So, give it a go, give it a go. Don't be scared of food. Honestly, if you haven't got something that, if you find a recipe or if you don't like this one that you haven't got, then just wing it. Go, get the bases there. Everything in cooking is about preparation and time. So as long as you get your timings right, you'll be fine, okay? Don't like chorizo, don't put it in. Vegetarian, get a load of veggies in there. No worries, okay? Right, let's whip this foil off. Oh yeah. Have a look at that. I'll try and tilt as much as possible. It's quite heavy. There we go, look, you've got the lovely charred chorizo, a little bit of charred chorizo, lovely pink prawns, peas are defrosted. Like I said, when you stir it out to in. It's peasant food, isn't it? It's so cheap. It's just whatever you've got to hand. Some rice, some stock, making sure you've got some vegetables for goodness and flavour. I'm just gonna gently cover it with some parsley. When you go to Spain and the south of France, you've got the big prawns with the legs sticking out. It looks the bizzo, like mussel shells and all the rest of it. There's 4 wee pieces of lemon to squeeze on top. I'm gonna take that to the table and get everyone to dig in. Enjoy it, okay? Give it a bash, don't be scared of the food. The whole point, the reason for me to be and do cooking with Coops is to boost the kitchen confidence and not be scared of what to cook at home, okay? You get a much better deal than you will at the supermarket or on the takeaway. It's healthier, and the more you do it, the more confident you get, the better your knife skills get, and the more fun you have. Right, see you next time. Take care, bye-bye.